Let's see, you're out at the fairs, you're doing how many shows a day?
Usually three. Sometimes I'll throw a fourth one in on the weekends, but typically three 30 to 35-minute shows a day.
Okay. You vary them, or are you keeping them the same?
Try to keep them the same. I mean, I have multiple shows that I can do. I have my regular variety show. I'm doing a new show called the Rubber Chicken Show, and so I'm kind of incorporating those two items into one show for now. But I will offer it as two separate shows to the fairs if they want to break it up. I'll bump the price up if they want to do that, if they want to have the two completely separate shows. Because basically it's like the price of two entertainers. It's two different, completely different shows, different character. But I would give them obviously a price break. Then we're not going to charge them the same day rate that I would for a single show. But typically it's the same show every day. And then what I'll do is if they hire me back for a second year, which often happens with the fairs, you'll get like 2 years out of a fair. Then I'll try to change things up the following year. I'll make notes of what I did this year and try to at least add a different trick or a different finale in for the following year just to make it feel different.
Okay. Do you do the fair conventions?
I do. The only fair convention that I really do is the IAFE convention, which is the International Fairs one, which is not so much international. It's just basically nationwide, but there's a few things in Australia, a few things in Canada. But that's the one that really deals with nationwide. And I'm with an agency for the fairs, and so I go to IAFE with them, and we have a booth space there, and so I do a lot of my marketing there. There's a bunch of the smaller regional ones, like I've done the WFA, which is Western Fairs, and then every state basically has their own regional one. So I've done like the Florida Fairs Convention, and I've done the Iowa one, but on a regular basis, it's just the IAFE, which happens in Vegas in November.
Okay. Any tips you can give people if when they go into these type of events? Because I know a lot of acts. Well, I do the Pennsylvania State Fair Association Convention, PSACF, and also did New York this year. And a lot of times you'll go in there and you'll see acts standing around in their booth, twiddling their thumbs, waiting for buyers to come in, and it doesn't happen. So,
Yeah.
what advice can you give somebody who is going to this type of event?
Especially as a first timer, try to make contact with people before the conventions so that they know that you're going to be there. Either send out a postcard with your booth number saying, hey, stop by and talk to me, or even try to set up appointments with people ahead of time. Because if you are a first timer and you go to the fairs and nobody knows who you are, a lot of times I think they'll put up their blinders and walk right by you, and you can try to like reach out to them and almost touch them, and you can just see they put their hand up like they don't want to even talk to you. Once you've been in the fairs for a few years, like I said, I've done a number of years now in the fairs. I feel like sometimes people will come by just to say hi to me, even if there's not even a booking going to happen. Maybe it's a previous fair that I've worked with who's just like, oh, hey, it's good to see you again. And so you'll get some kind of just motion happening that way. If people see you talking to somebody, they're more likely to say, oh, he's talking to the Georgia State Fair people. I should talk to that guy too. So, it is about just making sure that you're talking to people. Another thing that you can do is you can have things in your booth as giveaways. Make sure that you have good things for people that people want to take away with them. Obviously you want to have a DVD or some sort of promotional item to sell yourself, but you should have some way to draw them in as well. So whether that's your video playing or you have a really cool poster that's hanging up or something that's eye-catching that's going to make them stop and be like, oh, what's that,